A budget performance review has shown that in the first 3 months of 2024, the Nigerian government, under the government of Tinubu, yeah, spent 989 billion naira on domestic debt servicing and $1.1 billion on external debt servicing. This would mean that between the third quarter of 2023 and first quarter of 2024, the sum total of $3.4 billion was spent on external debt servicing, while 4.7 trillion naira was spent on domestic debt servicing. In the third quarter of 2023, domestic debt servicing got up to 1.792 trillion. In the fourth quarter of 2023, it took 2 trillion naira according to the analysis done by Sahara reporters. External debt servicing stood at $1.390 billion in the third quarter of 2023 and $943 million in the fourth quarter of the year. On Thursday, Sahara reporters reported that the country's debt management office said that Nigeria's total public debt surged to 121.67 trillion naira, marking an increase of 24.33 trillion naira or 24.9% over a span of 3 months. It was also reported that the country's medium-term expenditure from her framework has shown that the country plans to spend 29 trillion naira on debt servicing between 2024 and 2026. Review shows that in 2024, the country plans to borrow 8.2 trillion naira, 10 trillion naira in 2025, and another 11 trillion naira in 2026. Isn't this funny? This will mean that in the next 3 years, a total sum of 29 trillion naira is planned to be spent on debt servicing by the government. In contrast, the country plans to spend 18.3 trillion naira in 2024, 17 trillion naira in 2025, and another 17.9 trillion naira in 2026. Yeah. At the end of the day, who are the people who are benefiting, or who are benefited, or who will still be benefiting from all this whole thing? Because you that you are supporting them, you that you are criticizing people who are exposing their flaws, you are there suffering. You are there suffering. I'm sure you are going to be enjoying from this all this money spent here and there. Imagine this huge amount of debt channeled in the right way. The citizens would have been enjoying themselves so much, as there will be free education, free medical and healthcare, and so on. Our pensioner wouldn't even have been suffering after service, but because the old money was misspent, this has led to poor civil servant wages, a poor educational environment, poor security, poor healthcare, and so on. Well, Tinubu is doing extremely well. He should go for more loan, and very soon he will be taking loan to service the debts. Tell Nigerians how much was Buhari spending on servicing the Nigeria debts every month after he almost sent Nigeria to China and Saudi Arabia because of Boru Boru. Are you for real? Because every person in Nigeria, he knows this government's um spending money for wasted. Shame to you, suffering and smiling. I told you that they will support them and defend them. May God help President Tinubu to deliver Nigeria to the high level. All we need is one party system, and APC government will progress and hardship will go. Is this for real? How much did he borrow to replace the paid one? So how much are we owing again newly? When governments own, you will complain. Now that they are paying, you are still complaining. Can you imagine? Let him stop the borrowing, because how on earth will any government borrow 40 trillion naira in a year? Buhari government borrow 80 trillion naira for 8 years. So APC-led governments have borrowed 120 trillion naira in 9 years. And Nigeria is in the hands of wrong people. Take it or you leave it. Tinubu just wants his name to be on the list of Nigeria presidents. That's all. Let them keep on borrowing and share among themselves. And one day, Nigeria will be using all our resources to service debts. When they don't even just pay service debt, which one you can't gain for inside? The servicing part of actual payments for where that one is his business. He is reaping the reward of endorsing and supporting failure. Nigeria will finish under this government. Make una kuku say this country, let us rest. More reason he came on board unprepared is to cash out with reckless abandon. How does that concern Nigerians after removing fuel subsidy? And he is still borrowing the more. Does this servicing cover some part of the payment? If it is not, then we are done for. We are done for. There was a country called Nigeria. That is a total failure of everyone in the economic sector of the federal government. They are only paying interest, not capital, and they are still borrowing more for consumption. APC really do shege to Nigeria economy, and Nigeria economy is now retrogressive. He came to liquidate Nigeria because or beyond redemption. Lord have mercy.